Have you ever looked at your life and wondered, what could I have become if I didn't have ADHD? Maybe you've started a dozen projects but never finished them. Maybe you've had a business idea and never really got it off the ground. Maybe you've changed careers or hobbies or goals so many times that you feel embarrassed to even talk about it. Or maybe you look at other people your age and think, I should be so much farther along by now. If you've ever had those thoughts, I want you to know something. You are not alone. And more importantly, God hasn't given up on your story. One of the biggest lies that people with ADHD believe is that their value comes from their productivity. If we don't finish enough, if we don't accomplish enough, if we don't stay organized enough, then somehow we've failed. But that's not how God measures a life. One of my favorite verses for this struggle is found in Zechariah 4:10. It says, "Do not despise these small things, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin." And I love that. God rejoices in beginnings, not just finished products, not polished success stories. He delights in faithful first steps. And if you have ADHD, that is incredibly freeing. Because sometimes taking the first small step is really the hardest part. Maybe today all you did was send one email. Maybe you finally made that phone call that you've been putting off. Maybe you got out of bed and prayed and kept going, even though your brain felt completely overwhelmed. Don't despise these moments. God doesn't. Another verse that's encouraged me over and over again is in Ecclesiastes 3:11. And here it says, "He has made everything beautiful in its time." Notice that it doesn't say your time. It says its time, God's time. Our culture tells us that there's a schedule for success. You need to graduate by this age. You need to be married by this age. Have everything figured out before everyone else. But God's timeline isn't based on comparison. It's based on purpose. Maybe ADHD has made your journey slower. Maybe you've taken detours that you didn't expect to take, or you've had setbacks that nobody else really understands. But slower doesn't mean lesser. Delay doesn't mean denied, and your path isn't ruined just because it looks different. I think about all the people throughout Scripture that God has used in unexpected ways. Look, Moses doubted himself. Peter failed publicly. Thomas, we know, struggled with doubt, but yet God continued to work through them. Their weaknesses didn't disqualify them. They became places where God's faithfulness could actually shine. And the same can be true for you. There's another verse that I think of that every person with ADHD should hold on to, and that's in Micah 6:8. And it says, "What does the Lord require of you? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God." Did you notice what's missing? God doesn't require a perfect planner. He doesn't require flawless organization. He doesn't require that you answer every email or finish every project on time. He calls you to walk with Him, one faithful step at a time. So if you've been carrying the grief of unfinished dreams, I want to encourage you today. Don't let shame convince you that your story is over. Don't let comparison to others rob you of gratitude. And don't let ADHD define the limits of what God can do through your life. Maybe your calling isn't to have it all together. Maybe your calling is to show the world what perseverance, grace, and dependence on God look like. Maybe the very struggles you wish you could erase will become the testimony that will encourage someone else. And here's another thing that I want you to remember. Small faithfulness matters. Every prayer you whisper, every act of kindness, every apology, every time you choose to get back up instead of giving up, those moments matter, and God sees them. He delights in them, and He is still working for you. So if you're watching this and you're wondering whether you've wasted your potential, let me answer that question right now with absolute confidence. No, you have not. As long as God is giving you breath today, He is not finished with your story. There is still purpose ahead, there is still growth ahead, and there is still hope ahead. So keep taking the next step. Keep trusting Him. Keep believing that He can use imperfect people, because that's exactly what He's been doing throughout the entire history of time. And if you're struggling with that today, I want to leave you with this simple reminder. Your ADHD is part of your journey. It is not your identity. Your productivity is not your identity. Your unfinished goals are not your identity. Your identity is found in the God who created you, loves you, and promises never to leave you. If you found value in this message today, would you hit that like button for us so that this video would get in front of more people who really need to hear what you heard today? And if you enjoyed this content, please subscribe to the channel. We'd love for you to be able to experience additional ADHD prayers and encouragement. God bless.